Hi, I'm Tom Houck, and welcome to Top of the Podium Wrestling Center in Sterling, Virginia. We're about 30 minutes from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And I'm going to give you a tour of our facility and tell you about what I do here. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you understand what real wrestling is. A lot of kids think wrestling is like WWE, which is fun to watch, but that's not real wrestling. Real wrestling is a battle between two opponents in a serious way. Boys and girls, more and more girls are wrestling, and you try to pin your opponent and get their shoulders down to the mat or score more points than them. Real wrestling starts at a young age 4 or 5. Kids are wrestling here, and goes up through elementary school, through middle school or junior high, all the way up into high school, where you can then go on to wrestle for your college team. Texas had its first national champion at the college level. I think it was the first this year. Bo Nickel of Penn State won a national title, and he is from Allen, Texas. Now after college, you can go on and wrestle internationally, wrestle opponents around the world in the World Championships, and of course the Olympic Games, where wrestling was one of the first sports ever in the ancient Olympics. All right, with that out of the way, I am going to give you a tour of our facility here, and as I do that, I'll explain some of the things that I do at Top of the Podium. I'm going to pick up the camera here and take you around. All right, I am standing on top of the bleachers at Top of the Podium. If you look down, we have bleachers for parents to watch and for fans for our events. See, we've got 2 wrestling mats out right now. I've got the tripod set up there because I'm going to show you a move. We have 2 big screen TVs. One right now has a slide about wrestling, and the other is actually showing wrestling highlights. We have scoreboards. We have incredible sound systems, so we can blast music during practices or parties. We do birthday parties here. There's never been a wrestling facility like this in Virginia. There's not many around the country. So we're always experimenting with new ways to try to get people to come here and to make money so that we can pay rent, which is very expensive. There's our AV booth here, I guess you'd call it. There you can see 2 computers. And this is where we control all the computers and the sound system, and can put up slides, bring up the internet, do other things as well. So there's the bleachers that I was just standing on. There's another set of bleachers over there that are rolled up right now so that we have more room for mats. Now over here is, you can see a bunch of lockers. So when kids come in for wrestling practice or for a tournament, they put their stuff in the lockers there. And then here in the very front, I'm at the front door right now. When I come in the morning, I'll turn on the open, put on the open sign here. Here's a little display for summer camps. We do summer camps, and there's actually me teaching some kids a cradle. But we have like 6 camps this summer, and we bring in some of the best wrestlers in the country. There's Bo Nickel from Penn State, who's a camp counselor here this summer. But we do all kinds of camps, and we create marketing materials for those camps. There's some flyers for our 2017 summer camps. Now when you come into Top, vending machine here, more flyers. So we got birthday parties, there's birthday party flyers. Our homeschool team, more camp stuff. And then we have what we call the memorabilia wall. And these are all the great wrestlers and coaches that have been to Top of the Podium. And they will sign the picture and we'll hang it up on the wall here. So there's Olympians, world champions, NCAA national college champions. And they all sign a picture for us. And you can see it goes the whole way across the wall there. Up top are our middle school teams. They all wrestle in, so there's a typical traditional wrestling uniform. It's called a singlet, but now people are wearing fight shorts and compression shirts. That's the new trend. And there are the uniforms for our middle school teams up there on the wall. All right. Over here is our wrestling store. So we sell all kinds of wrestling shoes and headgear to protect your ears. And then there's special soap for wrestlers and t-shirts. And there's some more shoes, DVDs, stuff like that. We're always, so in terms of running top of the podium, we're always trying to find, as I mentioned, new programs so that people will want to come here and that the parents will want to pay money to come here because we have to pay the bills. And then we have to get the word out and market it. And we do that through flyers and announcements like this on TVs. That's one of our camps. And we'll do emails and, of course, social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. There you can see a banner for us, summer camps, classes and clinics we run, youth clubs have practices here. We have great birthday parties here where they play dodgeball and other games, not just wrestling. We have a bulletin board where we have current news and wrestling and stuff like that. And all over the place, here's like tickets from Madison Square Garden where the NCAA championships were last year. So anyway, all right, so just continuing the tour here, you can see down there, I'll get closer in a little bit, there's a bunch of dummies, throwing dummies that I will demonstrate on for you in a second here, because I know you want to see that. We've got pull-up bars over here, 4 pull-up bars, and then climbing ropes. They're up in the air right now, but climbing ropes are great to get stronger and always fun to do. Over here, so these bleachers are movable. We can move them anywhere we want, and a lot of times those bleachers are over where I'm standing right here, so that there's 2 sets of bleachers for fans. So we can flip the mats over too. You can see we have top of the podium mats, but we can flip these over and they look different on the other side. All these mats are reversible, so we can, sometimes we take them away and there's just like 1 mat out. Sometimes they're all out. Right now, most of them are out. I'm going to take you into an exclusive area here, employees only. This is the supply closet. You can see there's our AV system, rack. Here's a big banner that will stick out along the road sometimes to promote our business. And then here's mops to clean the mats. It's important to keep the mats clean. And when you're an entrepreneur, which I'll talk about a little more in a second, which means you start a business, at the beginning, sometimes you got to do everything yourself. So here's towels and toilet paper for the restrooms and trash bags and mops and brooms and cleaning supplies. And when you're an entrepreneur, you got to do all this stuff yourself, often at the beginning. And it's not always fun, but if you're passionate about your business and getting it started and getting it going, you do what you have to do. So we're going to come out of here, and there's a big crash mat, so if somebody falls off the ropes, they don't get hurt. We use that for other things too. I'm going to take you into the tunnel here. When we do wrestling meets for younger kids, they'll run out of the tunnel and there's smoke machines and loud music. It's awesome. So this is a mess right now. Somebody was in here last night and didn't put stuff away, but you can see we got jump ropes. We've got different types of things for kids to use to exercise. That's a high jump station there with a flexible bar. It's a little hard to see in the video. Here's a bin of dodgeballs. Dodgeballs is always super popular. There's a scale. Wrestlers, in wrestling, you wrestle somebody your own weight and size, so it doesn't matter if you're big or small. Any body type is good for wrestling. Here's an extra mat that's not supposed to be there, and some padding to go underneath it. Here's a huge tube. That's what the mats come in when you originally get them. In these locked doors are tons of wrestling shoes and headgear. And you can see we got all kinds of games and stuff. There's football pylons when we play flag football in here. There's little jerseys and bibs for football, little hurdles. I don't know how easy this stuff is to see. Here's a bunch of wrestling uniforms for a local club. There's our smoke machines. which are awesome. Everybody loves the smoke machines. And there's some more stuff laying around in the back here. So, all right, we're gonna go out of here, and I'm actually gonna go up to the front where I'm gonna show you something else. All right, I'm here with one of my friends at top of the podium, a throwing dummy. He doesn't have a name. I think the kids named him, but I forget what it is. But I'm gonna show you a quick wrestling move. This is called a headlock. So we might be wrestling, and then I'm gonna step in like this, and toss him up over my hip, toss him to his back, and get the pin. So it would look something, this guy's not very flexible, but it would look something like this. Alright, and then when I have him on the mat, I stick his arm in his face and hold him down and pin him and wrap him, slam the mat. Alright. Here's a view. I forgot to show you from a different angle. There's the bleachers. There's some banners up there for winners of tournaments that we've had. And then I also wanted to show you a pegboard. I don't know if you've seen these before or not, but these are great. You take these pegs out and you got to go up, get all the way to the top there, which I definitely cannot demonstrate with the camera in my hand. So that's your tour atop of the podium. All right, before I sign off here, I just want to tell you a little bit about my background. I actually started wrestling when I was in 4th grade and wrestled all the way up into high school. There's a picture of me when I was 18 years old, more hair than I have now, of course. And then I went on to college and wrestled at Penn State University for about 2 years. And at Penn State, I majored in accounting, which means I studied accounting, and that's what I got my degree in. And then I passed the CPA exam, which is Certified Public Accountant. And that's a hard exam that you have to pass, but if you can pass it, if you study hard and you pass, it will allow you to get, it allowed me to get, anybody to get a better job, a better paying job. And so I did get a job in Washington, D.C., and moved to Washington from Pennsylvania, where I grew up, and started working at an accounting firm. And I worked there for 7 years, and then I decided to become an entrepreneur and start my own business, which was a training and consulting business. I traveled all around the country, and it ended up doing really well. Starting your own business is very exciting, and you can even do it when you're still a kid. But, you know, something small, but starting your business is awesome. You're the boss, you're in charge, you make the decisions, which all sounds great, right? But it's also a lot of work. You have to have a strong work ethic. And the first key is to be passionate about what you're doing, to really care about the product or the service that you're offering to the public. But if you work really hard and you care about it, it can be a great job or career for you. Entrepreneurs also often risk their own money. They take their savings, you know, to invest. At top of the podium, for example, at the beginning, we had to buy these bleachers and the lockers and the wrestling mats, and that cost a lot of money. But again, and not all businesses work out. That's why entrepreneurs and small businesses should be celebrated, because they work really hard and they create jobs for people and they offer products and services that people like you and I want. And you know, it's a very rewarding career. Not for everybody, but it's something as you get older you can certainly consider as well. I want to show you real quick a picture at top of the podium before we moved in. This is what it looked like the first time we saw the building. And it's another great and fun thing about being an entrepreneur is you have to imagine what it could look like and what you could do with space or whatever your business is. Walt Disney once said something like, there's nothing more exciting than a blank sheet of paper. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel that way because you get to create it. You get to invent what you want to invent. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour atop of the podium. And if there's wrestling in your area, try it out. You very well may love it, and maybe you'll become the next national champ or the first Olympic champ from the state of Texas. Thanks for watching.